I'm Victoria II, Margaret Ann Windsor, kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 1941, brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin. Both twins were dead. It was a pigsty, and this is a photo where I was dropped off. Photo of me here, and I was born in '39. Now, I've shown a lot of this on other videos. This is my Aunt Georgia O'Keefe. I found out in '83 about my kidnapping and real name. This is Wallis Simpson that history would tell you married my father. It was totally untrue. She married a imposter, look-alike. They became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, and my uncle George VI partnered with the New World Order of the Illuminati. U.S. President Roosevelt, who had appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England, they were all part of the illegal forced takedown of my father and my kidnapping, Victoria II, and giving me a name of a dead twin here. Both twins were killed by their mother, Lionel, who's this woman right here. And this is a glossed-up picture of all this. Believe me. I'm going to show you one more picture here of me growing up. Okay. By the way, this is me and my sons a long time ago, but sometime in the early 70s, Mark after me, and then Scott. And, by the way, my mother was a school teacher. My aunt is an artist, or was, and from Madison, Wisconsin. Now, it was a forced abdication and a bunch of lies that took down my father. And like I say, my Uncle George helped. This woman has continued it. Look at this. Well, let me say this. History would look at that and the money. They're living in my homes, my money. She's a fraud. She's a traitor. She and George are members of the Illuminati. Well, George is dead. And Charles is supposed to be, which is illegal, next in line. Well, after Diana, he married Camilla, and she's Catholic and a divorcee. This whole thing about my father marrying Wallis Simpson's a lie. They used, in history, you would see that she's supposed to be a divorcee, and, well, she was, and I believe she was Catholic, which all of it's untrue. None of that's true, and that's the reason 99-year seal was put on it. My birth in '39, and they've made heroes out of criminals, George VI and Elizabeth. And I was reading, a friend of mine gave me this years ago, and it's been folded, and I can't read it in heft, and I can't read it, but it's about Wallis and her secret lover, and all. It's supposed to marry my father. A total lie. Susan Williams of London University, advisor to the PRO, said it's an enormous advance in knowledge. The files contain a wealth of detail that will fill many gaps in knowledge. Well, it's all a lie unless you take the 99-year seal off and really tell the truth. All of history is a lie. In fact, George VI and Elizabeth signed illegal treaties, illegal documents allowing the United States to put its military all over British soil and use Great Britain as a launching pad. That's how the United States has managed to take over the world. They really have at this point, with the exception of maybe China, I suppose. Anyway, she says here that the focus on the moral role of a king planning to marry a divorcee will have powerful, on Prince Charles, talking about moral role. My God, this woman's illegal. She's a traitor. There is so many lists of crimes these people have committed. Her father's illegal. He what can you say? This man kidnapped his own niece, heir to the crown, legal. He took down his brother, helped take him down with the Jews, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, and Joe Kennedy, who's Irish. How about that? My mother was Irish, Catholic, American, school teacher. So all of this is a lie, and I sit here because I found out in '83 about my kidnapping. I was flown out to Larry Flint's in a political campaign because I was writing. He said I knew who was responsible for his shooting and the killing of his attorney in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I was doing a book living in Marietta, '76, so I had antifreeze put in the April Fool Day of '80, and that's what this has been to most people, a joke. The doctor that I wrote about, I was writing about mind control. I had worked for doctors. His plane had gone down, and you get all these follow-ups and links that can't be a coincidence. Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, I wrote about in the book that's unpublished because of all that happened to me. The plane went down when it veered into Russian airspace from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea, and all the passengers aboard went down in the ocean. And that was August the 31st of '83. So here's another one of your mind control, though. So how many are like him that they have chips up their buttocks, like Timothy McVeigh, Oklahoma City bombing? He was under the influence of mind control. So you put an innocent man to death. How many more are there? Some of them you can prove, but how about the Marine that just went berserk, supposedly, up and killed his wife's, a bunch of the family, and really what's going on in Australia? You know, the United States said that they never had Area 51. Now then, all you have to Google is, and you can see that they put their Area 51 in Australia. That's British. So they pulled off the biggest crimes in history of this country with the help of the Jews. All of that became a state after my kidnapping, and all this New World Order flourished. NATO, the United Nations, all of it. Geneva Convention, all these things spiraled after my kidnapping in '41. So they've told lies about my dad, and it's unbelievable if you were to read the total lies. 100-year, really, 99, I think, years still put on my dad's illegal takedown. He's married to a school teacher that's American, and they got him married to this American spy, and evidently she was a whore and everything else, and that's what they've made out us to be. You should see what they've done to me in this country and my sons. I don't even know where they are, Mark and Scott. Anyway, I've put it all up there, and this was a twin, Carl. He's dead. I'm not going to put all that up. The Peggy is the name I had to use. I did twin all my life, and I still have to use Peggy and Dempsey. I married to Childers. So this woman has lived a life of, and people admire her. It is so strange to me, because if anybody should ever be held before a world court, which she is part of the Illuminati, so is the Clintons, and you can Google and you can pretty much find out. They helped kidnap me. They're over the world court, so fat chance I'll ever, unless there's God that decides to put a stop to it all, Elizabeth.